So I was doing the self-defense series, and the person asked me in the comments, I got a few messages, what's the best punch? So this is quite interesting because I've done loads of martial arts I've done from boxing to Muay Thai to I've done Krav Maga. I've done loads of different forms and styles and karate, etc, etc. And the reason it's a good question is a street fight is completely different, a real fight is completely different to a boxing fight. I'll tell you, I actually know a guy who was in it didn't make the nationals, but it did make the news. It would have made the national news if he got charged. But I knew a guy who was an MMA fighter who was going to the UFC. He actually was making it to that level. So you're talking an amazing cage fight. He had something like 62 wins, all this stuff, and he got in fight with a 60-year-old man, a real fight. This 60-year-old man was a gym goer who'd been a bouncer for years. The 60-year-old man nearly killed this 20-year-old kid. This 24-year-old guy who was going to the UFC got his ass kicked, literally beaten to an inch of his life. He got left for dead, and he beat him so bad that he left this young MMA amazing fighter. He left him in a coma, and he would have been charged for his murder, even though it was self-defense because he went so far, if he'd died. And what stopped him getting the sentence was literally that the guy eventually came up for the coma. That was literally what saved him. So my point with this is, well, they give you structures that can be used in real things and real life situations and scenarios. So you see these silly stuff online, they'll go, oh, strong man or a power lifter or a bodybuilder takes on a martial artist in jiu-jitsu and he loses. Of course he does. But if you put a great jiu-jitsu fighter against, let's do jiu-jitsu, it's all on ground, and you put them on the street in a real fight, and someone, like for example, with me, I've done jiu-jitsu. Actually, one of the styles that I was quite naturally good at was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, completely different to jiu-jitsu. I was actually me and BJJ when I said the first part. But you put yourself in a real situation, and they go and they try to get me in the tail and we're on the ground. I would bite your throat out. I would literally, without any think, murder you. Because it's a real fight, I'd bite your throat, I'd shove my thumbs in your eyes. So a lot of them don't have breaks for this. You've got to be realistic. Now that doesn't mean that if someone's on top of you and you know how to reverse a guard, turn someone into a half guard, etc, etc, it's going to get you out of that situation, because it will really help you. But you've also got to realise you're on fucking cement, you're going to get bit, you're going to get your ears ripped off. These are real fights, these are situations. It depends how. I've always seen aggression as a key factor in a fight. But to stick to the point with this, the effective punch is a punch that works. In some situations, a jab is extremely effective. In some situations, a cross is. In some, you're close in, you might want to go with an uppercut, up to the body, etc, etc. Head, elbows, you know, the situation doesn't eat. I've seen back fist work. I've seen even the basic back fist like this be hammer fist, sorry, be extremely effective. So you've got to use your brain a bit, and that's why you need to learn a variety of moves for different scenarios and skill sets. I've had good luck with this in like some of my self-defense. I remember there was a girl and she was 5'7", and she was sexually attacked by a guy who was 6'5", and she managed to get him into a choke of all things. He like lifted her up. She was literally going to throw her onto the bed, and as he grabbed her and lifted her up, he ripped down her pants. But as he grabbed her, she managed to get him in the guillotine because she'd learned the move. So she got him in the guillotine, and obviously he panicked. He expected her to get such a good lock. She bit him. I think she like bit into his head, but kept the guillotine on, and she actually choked him out. So extremely effective, and saved her from obviously a sexual assault at the very least in her. So it's good to have a selection of abilities and mindsets, because obviously in her situation against such an adversary who was so much bigger and stronger, she wouldn't have been probably able to outpunch him. But what she was able to do was lock this in that situation where he was vulnerable, get out of the situation and save her life. I mean, actually, technically, she could have killed him because she knocked him out. So it shows how you need to have a variety of moves for a different skill set.